Today, lawyers for Nikita Hand will ask the High Court for an injunction to stop Conor McGregor from publishing or sharing CCTV footage of her. The application is being brought by Ms. Hand, who successfully sued the MMA fighter for damages arising from her claim that he raped her in a Dublin hotel. In November, Hand was awarded €250,000 after she sued McGregor in the High Court over an alleged rape in the Beacon Hotel in December of 2018. Now, for more on this, I'm joined by Frank Graney, courts correspondent for Newstalk. Frank, good morning.
Good morning, Pat.
Can you explain to us why she is seeking this injunction?
Well, it all stems from an article that appeared in the Sunday Independent and the Sunday World earlier this month. This was an article written by Mark Tighe, who was reporting on a social media post, a post that was posted online by a business partner of Conor McGregor's, a man called Gabriel Ernesto Rapasarda, who claimed CCTV footage shown during the high-profile lawsuit that came before the High Court at the end of last year would change public opinion in relation to what happened at the Beacon Hotel back in December of 2018. Now, this guy, Mr. Rapasarda, is responsible for distributing Conor McGregor's stout in Italy. We know sales of that product here and in the UK decreased significantly after the jury found against him back in November. Retailers emptying their shelves of the stuff in the wake of the jury's verdict. But Mr. Rapasarda claimed online that sales in Italy have gone from strength to strength despite that verdict. And he said that they would be even stronger after the CCTV footage was released this month. Now, that prompted Nikita Hand to go back to her lawyers. Obviously, she's very concerned that the footage will be published online soon, and she is seeking a court order to prevent that from happening.
Now, the footage was actually shown to the jury a number of times during the civil trial, and obviously anyone who was at the trial would have seen this too, and the trial, because Nikita Hand had waived any, well, it was civil case in any event. So members of the public actually saw this stuff.
Those who were in attendance in court day to day, and as you can imagine, it was quite busy each day, the public gallery bursting at the seams every morning. So yes, they would have seen it. All of us on the press bench would have seen it too. It was a key piece of evidence during the trial. It was harvested from cameras in the Beacon Hotel's underground car park and in the hotel's lift to the penthouse suite where Conor McGregor was found to have attacked Nikita Hand. And the footage showed, it was a compilation, shown a number of times, and it showed interactions between Nikita Hand, Conor McGregor, Conor McGregor's friend James Lawrence, who was a second named defendant in the civil action. She also sued him but was unsuccessful in relation to her case against him. As I say, it was shown several times to the jury. The defence pointed to a portion of that compilation that showed Nikita Hand seemingly giving Conor McGregor a peck on the arm as he left the hotel. And this would have been at a time after she had claimed that she had been raped by him. The defence also highlighted portions of this compilation after Conor McGregor left the hotel. And this was of Nikita Hand displaying somewhat affectionate behaviour towards James Lawrence. She could be seen in the footage hugging and kissing him. And the defence claimed that her behaviour in that footage contradicted and was inconsistent with her claims that she had been subjected to a brutal rape not long beforehand. This was very distressing evidence for Nikita Hand to look at. Again, it was played to the jury a number of times, so she had to watch it several times, and she became very distressed each and every time it was shown. She said that she was very drunk. It was clear that she was very drunk and very vulnerable in the footage that she was being shown. She said she had no memory of what she was being shown. She said it was like looking at somebody else. And she said that she was suffering from delayed shock, that she only started to remember what happened to her in the hotel room, what Conor McGregor had done to her. That only came back to her later that evening. The footage we know was gathered by Gardaí as part of their criminal investigation into Ms. Hand's formal complaint of rape against Conor McGregor. We know a criminal prosecution was not pursued by the DPP, and that's why Nikita Hand decided to instead sue Conor McGregor for damages. So the footage would have been, in the ordinary way, would have been disclosed to all sides as they prepared for the case. And Ms. Hand is now very concerned about its potential publication, about it potentially being shared online. That's why she's seeking this order to prevent that from happening.
In other words, to just display this online for access to all the public who wouldn't have heard all the evidence in the case. This would just be an isolated thing and not have heard the context, etc. She believes that she should not be, in effect, tried again in the court of public opinion.
Absolutely. And it would be re-traumatizing for her. That's also an argument that's likely to be made today. Very, very difficult for Nikita Hand to take this case on, to give evidence and to be cross-examined by two sets of very experienced barristers over the course of a number of days. And as I mentioned earlier, each and every time that this footage was shown, she became visibly upset. At one point, when she was being cross-examined by the barrister representing Mr. Lawrence, she said, and she pleaded with him to stop showing the footage. She said she simply couldn't look at it. It was like looking at somebody else. So she's very, very worried about that footage entering the public domain.
Now, there are also a number of other loose ends that the judge will want to tie up. What are they?
Well, before Nikita Hand's lawyers went into Mr. Justice Alex Owen's courtroom earlier this week to make their ex parte application in relation to the junction, the court was already scheduled to sit today to tie up those loose ends. Mr. Justice Owens, we know, has already made an order in relation to costs. Last month, he ordered Conor McGregor to pay the costs, but adjourned the case until today after Mr. McGregor's barrister confirmed his client's intention to appeal. So that will be dealt with this morning. The court may also give us an update on whether it intends to initiate contempt proceedings against Conor McGregor. This is in relation to a series of online posts that he is said to have made after the verdict was delivered back in November. In one post that was brought to the court's attention, he seemed to question the integrity of the court and the court process. He described it, the court was told, as a kangaroo court. This was brought to the judge's attention. He said on a previous occasion that he would need some time to consider whether he should bring contempt proceedings against McGregor. So a busy day ahead for Mr. Justice Owens.
Now, separately, Frank, we're hearing reports from the United States that Conor McGregor is facing another civil lawsuit in relation to alleged sexual misconduct. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, as you say, this is a story breaking in the US. A number of news agencies running it. It's been reported that Conor McGregor is being sued by a 49-year-old Wall Street executive for an alleged sexual assault during the NBA finals in Miami. This was back in 2023. This woman, according to the court papers that are being reported on in the United States, she claims that during a game that she attended, McGregor assaulted her in a bathroom. And she is also accusing the arena staff and security team of failing to protect her, of serving Conor McGregor alcohol when he was clearly intoxicated and perhaps shouldn't have been served. As I understand it, the lawsuit was filed, according to the reports anyway, in the US District Court for the Southern District of Florida. They were filed on Tuesday. The woman is suing for damages exceeding $75,000 US. McGregor strongly denies her claims, I should say, and similar to the case here involving Nikita Hand, criminal charges were not brought against him in relation to this allegation. As you say, this is a civil lawsuit, and through his US attorney, McGregor described the allegation as a shakedown, and that was a claim that he also made in relation to Nikita Hand's civil lawsuit here in Ireland. It is, Pat, shaping up to be another busy year in the courts for Conor McGregor, because let's not forget he's also facing another lawsuit here in Ireland. He's currently involved in a legal dispute with a former friend of his, a former training partner of his, a man called Artem Lobov, concerning the creation and the profits of the proper number 12 whiskey brand, which he's no longer associated with. Lobov alleges that he played a pivotal role in developing that whiskey. He claims that he's entitled to 5% of the proceeds from the brand sale. McGregor did sell on that brand. It was reportedly sold for about $600 million US. And Lobov claims that McGregor reneged on an oral agreement to compensate him for his contributions to the brand's success. McGregor contesting that action too, and that is due to come before the High Court here in Dublin in May.
Frank Graney, our courts correspondent. Frank, thank you very much.